It's Cheryl. I thought today I'd do something a little different. I'm working on finishing up our gift bag tutorial for Valentine's Day. And I'm waiting for some clay pieces to dry because I decided that, I've got miniatures in my miniature stash that I could use. But not everybody has that. Not everybody has a miniature store close, and miniatures are expensive. Okay, so I thought I'd make all the miniatures for it. So I'm waiting on some air dry clay to dry because I've got some pieces that are a little bit thicker. And so, well, I'm waiting for that, and hopefully I'm going to get it done, tonight so that I can have a video up for you tomorrow. I thought I'd do something else, and I thought I'd share a page in my art journal. Let me zoom in just a little bit. I started this the other day, and I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to share because I had kind of a cool idea. I like to sew, and when I put down the pattern, and I've got pattern down on this, just an old pattern, I really wasn't sure where this was going to go. And then this morning I was sitting having my morning coffee, and I started thinking about my life. And, all life, doesn't matter how well organized or something, it seems like something disrupts it or something comes up, you get a bunch of happy stuff going on all at once or whatever. Life gets crazy. And so I thought, I've got all these scraps of paper, and I started that art journal page, and I started thinking about what if I did my art journal page and combined sewing with life and call it Sometimes Life Gets Crazy. And so I was thinking back, and in the old days to use up scraps of cloth that was left over, because back then, there wasn't a lot of money to go around, and so they would save all of their scraps off every dress they made or everything they did, and they would put it together on a beautiful quilt called a crazy quilt. Well, I thought, why not do that with my art journal page, and just call it Sometimes Life Gets Crazy, but make it look like a crazy quilt. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And like I said, so far I have just got, the pattern down. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp some script on that, because a lot of it's going to be covered, but there's also, I want the pattern to show around the edges. So I'm just going to go ahead with the script stamp right now. All I've got is this big blocky one, so I'm going to have to use that. And I'm just going to stamp here and there on this. Oh, it's not even showing up with this one. Alright, let's use a little VersaFine on it then. That usually works for everything. And I'm just going to randomly stamp here and there. This could be a little tricky with the wires on the side, but we'll get it. There we go. That works. I probably really should put something, this piece of wax tape, I'm going to slide that in there because I don't want the ink on my next page. I'm going to go just stamp with what's left there. Maybe another one down here. A little bit over there if I can get it. Okay. That's going to have to do. I'm okay with that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue down just a plain white piece of paper. And like a lot of your pieced quilt blocks, this is going to be my foundation for where my scraps of paper, my crazy quilt design, so to speak, is going to go. Just waiting on the glue. I'm really having a lot of fun doing this gift bag miniature thing. And I'm really having a lot of fun making my miniatures. I mean, the bottom ones are beautiful. There's some really nice ones out there. There are some beautiful miniature craftsmen, like even here on YouTube, do just outstanding work. But I thought I'd make my own for those who, may not have access to miniatures, or maybe have never explored them before. Nothing like paying a lot of money and then deciding you don't like something. So making them yourself, it's a good way to decide whether or not you really like something and really want to, explore it further. Okay, so I'm just going to put this down, and this is just going to be my foundation. And this page is going to get thicker than I want it to. And I've got ink on it, but off my hands, but I don't really, or maybe off the page, and I don't really mind though because it's really not, and I probably should have Mod Podged that down, but oh well, live and learn. Okay. Alright, I've got all my pieces glued down, and I did not Mod Podge over them because I want to be able to do some stitching lines on everything. So I'm not going to be Mod Podging over it just yet. I probably will in the end to catch any little loose corners that may appear, but not right now. I'm going to pause the video a minute because I need to go out and wash this brush out before it's ruined by the Mod Podge, and I'll come right back and we'll finish this up. Back, and got all my papers down now, and with the old crazy quilts, to make them pretty, you know, because a lot of them were just scraps, they used to use lace, and they would do beautiful embroidery stitches, and they would use ribbons, and you name it, they would put it on if they had it. So I don't want this page to get too thick, and it's already getting pretty thick, so I'm going to try to use some trimmings on mine also, like they did, but I am not going to make it, you know, I'm not going to be putting any like beads or anything on mine. I'm just going to, whatever I have that is mostly flat. And since they did their stitching a lot of times around their embellishments, that's what I'm going to do also. So I've got this super, super tiny lace here. And I think I may just run that down this corner right here, down to about where my circle comes. I don't have my sewing scissors in here, so I'm just going to have to kind of do what I can with those old ones. And I'm just going to be using my tacky glue to lay all this down with. Don't want too much because I don't want a bunch of glue coming up through the lace and all over my page. I've already got Mod Podge all over it that I'm going to have to work around, so we'll see what happens. And I'm going to put my lace on. I know I cut it to fit the other way, but I'm going to lay it on this way because I want to be able to do some faux stitching on the side of it. And my lace is all twisted up, of course. I'm not cooperating. I'm not going to worry if it's not real straight. If you ever look on the old quilts, sometimes they're, though beautiful, sometimes theirs aren't too straight either. And I think I'm going to add in a little piece of this. Just plain flat white lace here. Get it the right way up. And I think, let's see, I don't want all my laces going the same way. I might just put it down here and let it kind of hang off the edge down there. So I need to cut a little bit off. Get out my glue again, and I'm just going to lay a, I should have probably Mod Podged this on also, but I'm trying to keep the glue kind of contained until I get my stitching on. And I know I'll probably be covering up a little bit of some of the pieces of paper I put down. You won't be able to see them, but that's okay too. I know they're there. Oops, I wanted that up a little higher. Just, I want it so that it's got very tiny scallops on the edge of it, and I wanted it just so those little scallops are kind of just hanging off the edge. That'll work. This doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be exact because this is mimicking, you know, how life gets crazy, and sometimes that's not too perfect. You know, no matter what, like this summer we had so much going on. June, Zoe's birthday, and then right after that Sarah and Andrew got married, and it was just, you know, crazy. Just crazy getting everything done, and, you know, having the birthday party, and then because Zoe's birthday's on the 7th, and then like 2 weeks later, you know, on the 21st, we're having Sarah's wedding, and oh my gosh, I guess there was just so much going on last summer. It was such a busy, busy time for us, and it's pretty crazy. It was a very happy time, but it was a very crazy time as far as, you know, doing stuff, so that kind of inspired this here. Oh, let's see, I have this a flower I cut off a piece of old lace, and I'll hold this page up when I get it all finished here so that you can see what I've done with it. I hope everyone has a good week this week. I'm hoping my week will go good. But you never know what your week has in store for you. I'm sorry if I'm getting quiet. Sometimes something new for me, right? Sometimes I kind of get caught up in what I'm trying to do. This old silver braid stuff, I don't even know where I got it. I've had it around for so many years, and I don't really like the stuff, and it's not really good for sewing. So I thought maybe I'd just throw it in here, a little piece of it. It's one of those things I don't know why I don't. I've got a pretty good sized chunk of it here, why I don't just pop it in a bag when I'm donating, you know, like to one of our thrift stores, and you know, give it to them. This is, I think, is cute. The little dog bones on it. I got this at Michael's. It's like a twill tape. And I got it at Michael's, oh my gosh, so long ago. I don't even remember. Like, everything I have, I've got so much stuff that I've had around forever. And you know what? It's time to use it up or to pass it on to someone who might want it, because I haven't used it. It's just sitting here taking up space in my house that I could use for other stuff. And one thing about 2015, I really didn't sit down and make out resolutions, but one part of it that I really want to keep is getting my house and my life much more organized. I'm just going to cut that off a little bit more because the place I want it doesn't need a lot. Just trying to follow the edge of that. And then I got it too short, of course. Oh well, it's a crazy quilt, right? Whatever. Anything goes. I am not going to worry about it. And then I have this too. I also got it at Michael's a long time ago. It's like a little flocked. It's longer. It's like this. Little flocked flowers and bugs. And I have one too that's butterflies and something else in a purple. And I'm just going to put those down too. And they're just a little flocked type fabric. I'm not sure what they are, what exactly they're made out of. And I'm going to put him right by the little dog bones. And I have a little flower I'm going to use also that I cut off of there. And, you know, I would dearly love to use like beautiful flowers and beads and everything, but, you know, there just isn't room here for that. Because I want this art journal to somewhat close. It's probably going to be a pretty fat art journal the way it's going. I haven't done much in it. I'm really shy about showing. There's a Tim Holtz butterfly or moth I'm going to put down. And I think this little orange bow that I had laying around. It's just a tiny one. And I'm just going to glue it down, and I'm going to put glue all over it because I don't want it to stick up when my journal's closed. And I think we'll put that right there in the corner. That works. Alright, now, the next thing I'm going to do, and I am not very good at making faux stitching. I watch Amy at May Made It do it, and she just zips around her projects. I wish I could, but I can't. Oh, I bought a new black pen the other day. It's called Le Pen Permanent. I really kind of like it. I was buying those little Sharpies, which can be expensive depending on where you buy them. I'm just going to start with a stitching line up here. And I'm not going to be too exact with that either. I'm just trying to get it as even as I can. And I know a lot of it isn't even showing. but because of the stamping I did, but I'm hoping that some of it will. And I'm probably going to go ahead and outline all of my stitching, so I may speed that part up as well, because you don't want to watch me sit here and make stitching lines. I can see that because of all the texture on the paper, my stitches look terribly bad. They're really getting off there. And this doesn't, it works on Mod Podge, which is nice, but on the spots where I have the Mod Podge kind of thicker, it's not working so as well. I'm really happy with this pen though, because I was using those little Sharpies, and depending on where you buy them, they can be pretty expensive. And mine, even though I was very careful and tried to keep them capped right and everything else, they dried out on me. So I'm hoping I'll have better luck with this pen. I'm so excited. I can't wait till my Joann's order ships with my new Lindy's sprays that I get ordered. I am so excited to try working with those. Because like I have said, all I have right now is the Tattered Angels, and I like their sprays just fine. I have a little bit of some Dylusion sprays that I got on sale. But you can't use fluorescent colors, and you don't need shimmer and everything. So I am really, really, really looking forward to the Lindy's sprays. So that'll be something fun to play with. The first thing I think I'm going to do is a canvas. Once I have Crafting Kitty in here today. Alright, I've outlined it, and like I said, I'm not good, and due to the Mod Podge, it kind of, it's bad, but I don't care, I'm having fun. So I'm going to speed up the part where I go ahead and stitch around all of this, and okay, I think I got it all, and I messed up on my stitching, so this is what I have so far. So you'll notice up in the pink area, it kind of looks like a scribble. I messed up, but I'm leaving it in. It's part of me. I made the mistake, and that is a part of me. I make mistakes. I am not perfect. And I want to just do a little more stamping on this. I have some small sewing stamps here, and they're Stampabilities, and I got those at Hobby Lobby a couple years ago, so I will be using some of these on here too. I'm just going to randomly do them, and I don't have a stamp block here right now, so I'm just going to use my fingers, and if I get messy, well, I do. And I'm just going to randomly stamp here. I got fuzzies on my fingers for some reason. Glue. Excuse me, I get some of that off. I am really getting to be quite the mess here with all of this. Back in frame here, I have too much stuff all over again. Just get a baby wipe. I'm sorry about the crinkling. Just get a baby wipe here so I can clean up my stamp a little bit. I'll clean it better when I get done with the video. Okay, I'm just going to lay that to dry. Let's do a couple of the little sewing machines on here somewhere. This is such a cute little stamp, and especially because I sew. So I really like this one. Let's put one right here. And if they don't stamp perfectly, I'm not going to be worried about it. This one, just to use up a little more ink on my stamp, and that one got a little off, but it's up there on the top where I already have the script stamp, so it's not going to matter too much. Set that one to dry. Let's do some little thimbles here and there. And I'm just using VersaFine on this. We'll put one right there. And let's see if we can put a little more on this and get a stamp on this lace. I bet I can. I bet it's just going to look like a jumble of whatever. Yeah, not too bad. But it's a pretty fine lace too, so I like this little guy. So yeah, I think I'm going to put him right there. And just stamp off some more ink down here in the corner. And they're not perfect, and that's okay. I'm not perfect. My life is not perfect. In fact, it's far from it. So I'm okay with that, and I think, other than I'm going to put my words on now, I have them cut out over here. And I had some white circles I was going to put on here, and I thought, well, they'd just be cool journaling spots. But at this time, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. So right now, we are just going to take the words I made, and I wrote, sometimes life gets crazy, and I'm just going to put them on here. Maybe I should decide where I want them first. I think maybe right here in the middle where I have this big flower. Sometimes life, and I just wrote these myself. Believe it or not, I have a Mac computer, and I never paid to have the word thing put on there, because I really don't do much with that. Sometimes life gets, oh, I can't get it picked up. I taped my craft mat down, and I just used the painter's tape, and yeah, like that. And it was like on the painter's tape, and it didn't want to slide and move for me, so a little trouble getting that off there. It took me longer to get my glue down here than it was to finish the whole page. There we go. But not get enough amount that it sticks with all of my layers I've got going here. There's sometimes got a little close to that flower thing, but I don't mind. It's all good. Ah, a piece of paper stuck to. I've got glue all over my glue and Mod Podge all over my hands. Sometimes life gets crazy. And it's so true. But a lot of the times when life is getting at its craziest, it's a good crazy. It's something fun and happy that just throws you into a tizzy and gets you all busy and running here and there and everything else, and it all ends up good. I'm just going to go around the edges of this a little bit, just so it stands out. I thought about coloring it, with like some distress ink or something like that, but there's so much going on in this page now with all the colors and patterns and prints. And the little embellishments like the laces and the butterfly and all that. That I think I will just outline it. And I'm not going to worry if I'm perfect with my outlining or not. Like I said, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect by a long shot. And my art journal doesn't need to be perfect either. It just needs to sometimes convey my feelings. I'm going to date it down here in the corner. And this is January. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what day it is. Isn't that crazy? I don't even know what day it is. I think it's something like the 17th or the 18th. I'll put it in later. I'll put the date in later. When I check, this is crazy, but I don't have a calendar in here, and I didn't even look this morning. Anyway, here you go. Here's my art journal page. At the top, mistakes and all. Sometimes life gets crazy. All right, well, that's it. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I'm hoping to be back tomorrow with the, oh, excuse me, part 2 and final part of our Valentine gift bag gift. I hope you'll join me then, and have a great day. Bye-bye.